job.
When he got hurt in New Orleans, that's the worst thing that ever happened. He never got to prove himself. And I think that had a big impact on how the rest of his time in New Orleans went. I honestly think that he was like, boy, these people are all going to think I'm a fraud.
I think it ended up being good for him because it started this path of epiphany. I mean, he realized how much of his self-worth was tied up in body parts that could betray him.
I don't know. New Orleans was just a bad scene.
Ricky was a person that was more or less, alone, really. He had an apartment down an alley, and it was just, 3 or 4 rooms and no windows. He had little bitty windows, you couldn't see nothing, had no view. He just wanted to be alone. He says, people in New Orleans didn't like him. That's not true. People in New Orleans loved Ricky. Ricky didn't give anybody a chance to love him.
Once he started running the ball down in Miami, a lot of the reaction was, who is that? Who is that guy? Why couldn't he have done that here?
For the first time in Miami Dolphins history, they're going to have a Heisman Trophy winner wearing their uniform. Ricky Williams, who struck the pose in '98 and is coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons, will give the Dolphins something they haven't had since Larry Zonka.
He was pretty driven at that point to prove his detractors back in New Orleans wrong.
Touchdown!
Ricky Williams carried 775 times over a 2-year span. That is the most carries in NFL history over a 2-year span. And I'm not even talking about the times he caught the ball. And he ran hard all the time. Dave Wanstead did everything he could to burn this guy out because Dave Wanstead was hitching his wagon and pitching every shred of success he had to Ricky Williams.
It took an immense physical toll on him to carry that ball that much.
Yeah, that team was using him up, and it was only going to be worse in 2004.
And then a drug test came back, and he realized he was going to be suspended for part of it. And the combination of these factors tipped him over the edge.
A week before the start of training camp, the free-spirited Williams is the latest great back to retire in his prime, following in the footsteps of legends like Jim Brown and Barry Sanders.
Had Ricky Williams not retired, he would have been suspended for the first 4 games of this season because he failed a 3rd career drug test for marijuana.
The joke here is on Dave Wanstead and the Dolphins management for betting 2 first-round draft choices on this very strange kid.
So why didn't you come in a wedding dress?
That didn't come off so well.
Ricky is hugely famous. Ricky's retiring. Famous guy is doing something unbelievably eccentric, and it's a monster story.
Just days after he retired, I got a call at 2 in the morning from Ricky Williams, who was traveling the world high off his ass. The 27-year-old in his prime, former NFL rushing champion, sounded anything but crazy as he talked about buying land in Australia and never returning to the United States.
What's your responsibility as a friend to Ricky Williams right now? Are you supposed to fly to Australia, to that tent, and yank this 220-pound behemoth out of there and say, let's do a intervention?
After 2 months of soul-searching and world travel, the media onslaught ended, the fans ran out of memorabilia to shred, and Ricky came back to the United States incognito in early October 2004. This was his first interview at my film partner's place in LA.